Okay, here we go. We're going to begin with lesson 12.4 when we're going to be solving multiplication and division equations. And and sometimes you're going to see it look a little bit different. So we have, we're solving multiplication division equations. Sometimes it's going to look a little bit different. So we have, for example, if we have a problem that is 5 times x, we're going to put them side by side, it's equal to 20. And what we want to do is we want to solve for x. So something to keep in mind that when we solve, oops, I'm going to cross that out. To solve a multiplication problem, we are going to divide. And then to solve a division problem, we are actually going to multiply to solve for our missing number, whether it be x or a different variable. So back to our problem, 5 times x is equal to 20, and we want to find out what x is equal to. Well, instead of multiplying 5 times x, we're going to divide 5, and we're going to divide 5 on both sides of the equal sign, and so the 5 divided by 5 is going to cross itself out, and that's going to become 1. And so then we have x by itself, which is equal to 20 divided by 5, which is equal to 4. Now, that's a little bit different than you've seen it written in the past. We'll do another example of that. We're going to take example 4n is equal to 20. 4n is equal to 20, and so again, to solve for a multiplication problem, we're going to divide, and that's just another way to show divisions. We're going to, instead of multiplying by 4, we're going to divide by 4 on both sides of the equal sign. And so 4 divided by 4 is actually equal to 1. So it crosses itself out. And then we have n, which is equal to 20 divided by 4, which is equal to 5. Now let's do an example where we're going to solve a division problem by multiplying. So let's say we have a problem like this. We have x divided by 7 is equal to 3. And so again, to solve for a division, problem, we're going to multiply. So we're going to say that 7 times 7 is going to cross, it's going to cross each other out. So 7 times 7, and then we're going to multiply 3 times 7. We're going to multiply both sides times 7, and that gives us x is equal to 21. So instead of dividing by 7, we're going to multiply by 7, so it crosses itself out. And so that x then is by itself, and it's equal to 21. Let's do that one more time. Let's say that we have, for example, b divided by 5 is equal to 6. And we want to know what b is equal to. So instead of dividing by 5, we're actually going to multiply by 5, which will cancel the 5's out over on that side of the equation. And if we divide by 5 multiply by 5 on this side, that's going to give us 30. So then b is now equal to 30. And we'll do some more examples of that as we go along here. Let's turn to page, let's go to page 601, and we'll give you a few examples of how this is used, where it's used at. So let's go to page 601. I'm going to turn my page over. Page 601, and the first example that we're going to go through with this is number 33, and it is talking about hurricanes. And our question is telling us to write and solve a multiplication equation to predict how many hours it will take the hurricane to travel 1,728 miles. So let's write down our question. We're going to write and solve a multiplication problem to predict. We use variables a lot to predict how many hours it will take the hurricane to travel 1,728 miles. That's what we're trying to find out. So we're going to set up our problem like so. We're going to say, okay, we know that the hurricane is traveling at a speed of 24 miles per hour. And so we want to know, so times something is going to equal 1,728 miles. So we don't know what. So instead of multiplying, again, to solve for a multiplication problem, we want to divide. So we're going to divide by, I'm going to say, this is going to be by hours, multiply times time. So we're going to instead of multiplying, we're going to divide, and we get divide by 24, and we're going to divide by 24 on both sides. So now our problem is going to look like this. The 24 cancel each other out. So now we have 1,728 divided by 24 is actually what we're doing. And you can just put it in a bracket, 1,728 divided by 24. And if we do the regrouping method, we can see that, okay, 24 goes into 172. I think it's about 7 times. Let's check it over on the side. So 24 times 7 is 140, and 28, 168. Okay, so that seems to work. And then we subtract, and we have 12 minus 8 is 4. Bring down our 8, and now we have 2 groups of 24 from 48, and that takes care of our division problem. So we can say that the number of hours it's going to take is equal to 72 hours. So there's just an example of when we use multiplication and division of variables. Let's do another one. Number 34. This one has to do with sports. This example has to do with sports. And we have this team, so we want to basically, the team won 45% of its games this year, and then the team, they won 9 games. So we want to write and solve a multiplication equation to find the number of games the team played. Okay, so we want to know basically, let's write that down. So write and solve a division problem to find the number of games the team played. We know it was 45. They won 45%. We don't know what that number of games is. So we're going to say, okay, 45% is written like that, 0.45, and times x is going to be equal to, they won 9 games. So, well, let's see, they won 9 games, they want to know how many they played. That's what that question is, how many teams, the games the team played. So instead of multiplying, we're actually going to divide this by both sides of the equation by 45%, or 40.45. So if you take your calculator, we're going to say, okay, what this looks like is 9 divided by 0.45. So let's take our calculator and figure that out. 9 divided by 0.45 is equal to 20. So the team actually played 20 games. And so how we would figure this out by dividing it is like this, and so X is equal to 20 games. Okay, let's take a look at a couple other examples. We're going to start, our assignment will be on page 600, and you can get that when you get back to class.